If you ignore this message I'm giving you, you will live to regret it in the next 3 to 5 years. I am telling you. I'm begging you, with my whole heart. The next 5 years could be the most forgiving window for building wealth. So for all of you who have been telling me I missed it, all of you in your 40s to 60s, and then you've been telling me I've missed it, I'm 40, I've missed it, I'm 50, I'm 60, I missed it. This is your most forgiving window. This is the most forgiving window. That is what Awoke Ogbo is screaming into your ears. Listen to me. Because it will only favor you if you take position early before the prices run. We are right now at the base of the massive, what might be the most massive wealth opportunity in the past 200 years. This year, 2025 to 2030, is a great wave. And I'm going to tell you why I believe that and why you should not miss it again. Because the reason many of us are poor, the reason many of us are still struggling to pay our bills, the reason many of us fall sick and we can afford Medicare is because we miss the cycle. And then when you miss one cycle, you have to wait for the next. Imagine a version of you 3 years from this moment that you're watching this video, knowing that there was an opportunity, massive opportunity, but you chose to hesitate. Feel the weight of that regret. As you're sitting in your dark room with your head down and your hand to your chin in full regret that you missed it once again. If you ignore this message today, you might look back in 3 to 5 years' time with deep regret. Why? Because every wealth cycle starts quietly. It starts quietly, right before the masses wake up, right before the masses even catch on. And right now, as I speak to you, you are standing in the base of the next wealth cycle. Throughout our years, for instance, a 70-year-old man, if you're 70 watching this, you have experienced at least 5 wealth cycles, at least 5. Because there's always a wealth cycle, like every 10 years, every 20 years. It's a massive wealth cycle. So the universe, if you like to call it universe, but I call him God, is very good to everyone that he has made. And so nobody lives 50 years, 40 years, 70 years, and does not experience a couple of wealth cycles. But the problem is that many of us miss it. And then we blame fate, we blame our family background, we blame our academic background, we blame the government, we blame everything but ourselves, not just admitting that we missed the wealth cycle. So we are right now at the base of the massive, what might be the most massive wealth opportunity in the past 200 years. This year, 2025 to 2030, is a great wave. And I'm going to tell you why I believe that and why you should not miss it again. Because the reason many of us are poor, the reason many of us are still struggling to pay our bills, the reason many of us fall sick and we can afford Medicare is because we miss the cycle. And then when you miss one cycle, you have to wait for the next. And if you look around you at your friends who have made incredible money, they moved with the cycle. They recognized the cycle before everybody woke up. It could be in real estate. It could have been Bitcoin of 2011 or something like that. Many wealth cycles. And people bought Bitcoin like with as little as maybe $1, maybe $10 or something like that. And today it's a massive thing. But that cycle has come and gone. No need to regret. There is a massive one happening right now. And I want to say upfront that I am not a politician and I'm also not a global analyst. But I watch patterns, because in all your life, all you need is just to identify one wealth wave and ride it, and you'll be okay for the rest of your life. That's why I've been telling some of you who come to my DM to tell me, oh, I'm 47, oh, I'm 62, oh, I am 54. And I still haven't started. I feel confused. I feel lost. My finances are not good. And I don't even know where to start. You're talking about the stock market and all that. I don't even know what it is. It's not late. It's not late. What you should look out for is the next wave. Just ride the wave quietly. And then within 5 years, you can achieve in your finances, in your purpose, what you were never able to do in the past 50 years. And that is why this video I'm making for you is very important. Listen very carefully, because this might be the wave that will totally wipe off all your financial pain and all the frustrations you've had for the past 30, 40, 50 years if you ride this wave. So I'm not a politician. I am not a certified global analyst. I don't know anything. But I watch patterns. And then many times I spend weeks, days watching for patterns in the markets that I could ride. And I'm going to be giving you some of the practical examples of the ones that you know. So recent global events are pointing towards something historic. A wave of geopolitical peace in the Middle East. You know, Middle East politics has always been, whatever is happening in the Middle East has always been like the center of every other thing going on in the world. When the Middle East coughs, the whole world, coughs with it. And so something historic just happened. Just a few days ago, the US leadership wrapped up a major diplomatic visit through the Middle East that took them to Saudi Arabia, to UAE, and even Syria, which for 40 something years, maybe over 46 years, have been under all kinds of sanctions by the American government and the whole world. But just a few days ago, these sanctions were lifted, opening doors, and more importantly, unlocking massive cross-border investments. President Trump left Middle East with $2 trillion of deals, worth of deals. Guys, wake up. That is massive. Something is shifting. So, because these things are not just ordinary headlines. People just read headlines and then they pass. And perhaps the reason is because we are used to all these, our senses have been deadened, by all these, what's the word? All these dirty things that people read on social media, news that excite their appetites, the loss and things like that. So excitation of appetites have killed critical thinking and analysis. And so we no longer are able to tell what is important news. What is one piece of news that might have significance for 50 years? Because it's not everything you read that has significance. But there are some things, and many times they don't come mighty like that. They just happen like ordinary current affairs. But they have significance for the next 100 years. This one, I personally believe that what happened in the Middle East with President Trump and American leadership visits there, I believe it's not an ordinary headline. And then there were all kinds of wealthy people, the billionaires, who is who in the world. Well, we're there with him. Even our own Dangote, Aliko Dangote, was in that meeting. So people came. It was a massive thing. The world is shifting. Aliko Dangote, Africa. What did he have to do with President Trump's visit to Saudi Arabia and all those? But he was there. Went, shook hands with the president. How many of you saw it? If you saw it, type in the comment section. Saw it. Just type saw it. I always want engagement. And then some of you watching have not subscribed to this channel. Please take a moment, just pause this video, subscribe and hit the notification bell, because every weekday I also go live to talk about these things and then to teach you to improve your finances. And so subscribe now, like this video. It really will help the algorithm to show it to people who need it so that other people can benefit from this. So Aliko Dangote was there among many other billionaires that we don't even know. So it was something shifted over the weekend. Okay? So this matters to you, and it matters to me because the world economy is moving from crisis into correction. Everybody watching this, type crisis to correction. Type it in the comment section right now. This is really very important for you, because I really want your nervous system to be engaged with what I'm saying, because for many of you, this is the video you've been waiting for. This is the video that will launch you into the next cycle, the wave of prosperity, economic prosperity that's coming in the world. This might be it. That's why I'm saying if you miss what I am saying, you will regret it in the next 3 to 5 years. You will regret it. You will look for this video and come back and say, I am sorry that I didn't listen to you. Okay? So the world economy is moving from crisis to correction. And you know that this massive crisis started in just 5 years ago, 2020, when we have the global pandemic that literally shut down the globe, shut down the economy of all the nations in the world. And in fact, maybe the only economy that was breathing at that time was the Chinese economy, because all the manufacturing, and I'm going to talk about that later, was happening in China. And then some of you listening to me, your businesses collapsed in 2020 and have never recovered up to today. But the good news is that we are about to surf that wave again. We are about to see businesses that were dead resurrect. So this matters to you importantly, because history has told us, history tells us that every post-crisis period is followed by an explosive opportunity for those who act early. That's the key word, for those who act early. So what does all this mean for investors? What does this mean? Periods of war, periods of inflation and confusion like we had since 2020 are usually followed by booms in productivity, in manufacturing, in technology, and in market growth. I've mentioned 4 things: productivity, manufacturing, technology, and market growth. And we are already seeing the signs. How many of you noticed that all the losses that the US stock market made just a few months ago have been recovered? The US stock markets are gaining ground and they are not slowing down. And one of the interesting things I've noticed that once the US stock markets begin to climb, it's like all the other stock markets in the world rally. Because the same thing is happening to the Nigerian stock market. It's been incredible. The bulls have had the market very, very strongly in the past couple of weeks. I bought a stock just a few days ago, and then in 3 days, the thing has massively risen. Within 3 days, it's massively gone up. So you find that building wealth and timing are closely knit together. Many times it is not effort. Many times, I'm just telling you secrets, whispering the secrets in your ear, because we were never taught in school. And these are some of the things that when I am coaching an organization, a company, I'm leading a board retreat, I'm leading a management retreat, I'm leading a transformation retreat for an organization. These are some of the things we whisper. It's not always about effort. You know, there's an ancient scripture that said something about that it is not of the person who runs. It's not of, well, it's said in King James English. It is not of him who runneth or willeth. No, I'm mixing it. But that one says something about time and chance happening to them all. So if you know that scripture I'm talking about, just tap it in the comment section so that other people can find it. You know, it says something about that it's not about running around, about exerting energy, that it is time and chance. That is what this thing is talking about. Because you can struggle, one person can struggle for 10 years, and another person just wakes up one morning on the 10th year of that person's struggle. And then this guy hits incredible abundance and incredible wealth in only 6 months. And then people will say, oh, overnight success. And then you'll be saying, oh, for 10 years, I've been trying to do this same thing that this guy did. What happened? He just did it. The same thing I've been doing for 10 years. He just came out and did it, and within 6 months, the guy is a billionaire, and I'm still where I am. Time and chance happened to them all, because there is a very, very strong correlation about building long-term wealth and market cycles, prosperity cycles. These things started way back, even like 4,000 or 5,000 years ago. How many of you remember the story of Joseph and Pharaoh in Egypt, when the world experienced a total economic crash? Inflation, famine, money was there, but money was useless. Money couldn't buy food. Remember Joseph's dream, the interpretation of Pharaoh's dream that Joseph gave him. He said to him, Pharaoh, the next 7 years are going to be 7 years of incredible abundance, and it's going to be followed by another 7 years of incredible suffering. So what do? Act now. So now, if you were a business person or a wise investor, and then you invested at the base of those 7 years of abundance, you will be good. And that was what Joseph did for the whole country. But because the whole country was not listening, the investors did not do the same thing that Joseph did for the state. And then they suffered. They suffered it until they literally had to sell their land and sell themselves to Pharaoh for food. It was that bad that people with money couldn't even buy food, and they had to sell themselves. Now, if you were a business person, an entrepreneur, and then you start your business at the base of that economic decline, you will fail. And you will think that is because of your educational background. You will think it's because government is bad. No. You did not see the signs and you did not take advantage of it. And then, apart from the US stock market gaining ground, manufacturing activity is also climbing. In one of the places in Middle East, I think it was in Qatar, correct me. They want to start making chips for artificial intelligence. What do you call them? These semiconductors or something. They want to start manufacturing it in the Middle East. And it's a very powerful strategy because people don't want to be held hostage by China anymore. And then manufacturing is also picking up in America. Manufacturing is picking up in different parts of the world. You know why? Because during the pandemic in 2020, only China was manufacturing. And then China was literally holding everybody by the neck because many supply chains broke. Because raw materials were coming from there, finished products were coming from there, nations couldn't function. But right now, there is a lot of manufacturing activity springing up in different parts of the world, in India, in Africa, in South America, in America, in Canada, different places, in Russia. And then the tariff war between China and the United States have started easing. And the investor sentiments have turned. You are at the base of something great. How many times can I scream this? If you ignore this message I'm giving you, you will live to regret it in the next 3 to 5 years. I am telling you, I'm begging you, with my whole heart. The next 5 years could be the most forgiving window for building wealth. So for all of you who have been telling me I missed it, all of you in your 40s to 60s, and then you've been telling me I've missed it. I'm 40, I've missed it. I'm 50, I'm 60, I missed it. This is your most forgiving window. This is the most forgiving window. That is what Ogbo, Awoke Ogbo is screaming into your ears. Listen to me. Because it will only favor you if you take position early before the prices run. So let me just be clear about this, because people say, I don't have money. I don't have a lot of money. So people are waiting until they have millions or tens of thousands of dollars before they start investing. You don't need to be rich to start investing. You need to be wise. Investing is not for the rich. Investing is for the wise. Type it. I want to see engagement. Type it in the comment section. Type it. Investing is not for the rich. Investing is for the wise. It is the wisdom of investing that will make you rich. So the wisdom comes before the rich, not the rich before the wisdom. Some of the best opportunities right now are sitting in what people call penny stocks. And then in my mentorship group, I have already identified 7 penny stocks in the Nigerian stock market. Nigerian stock market is creating billionaires every month. Don't fool yourself. This economy is doing extremely well. And it doesn't matter whether you're watching this from Europe or from America. You can put your money here safely. The stock market is very, very highly regulated. And then if you've lost money in the stock market before, it's not because it's the stock market. It's because you didn't know what you were doing. The Nigerian stock market is so powerful, so strong, that even during the civil war in Nigeria, for the 3 years that Nigeria fought its civil war, 1967 to 1970, every single day, did you know that the Nigerian stock market was open? Fun fact. So even war doesn't affect your money. So I've identified 7 powerful penny stocks that you can take position. Many of them are under 5 naira today, under 3 naira. But you see, people ignore them because they don't look impressive right now, and because people don't talk about them because they do not know. But that's a huge mistake. Now, some of these penny stocks, there are 7 of them that I'm recommending and I'm also buying. I want to accumulate millions of them. Because some of these penny stocks you're buying 3 naira today, in another 2 to 3 years, you won't get them for 150 or 200 naira. This video will be here. It's not going to be deleted. It will be here. This video will be here. You will come back because this is going to be prophetic. But now, I'm not a prophet or a religious man, like that. So I'm not doing anything. I'm not saying anything prophecy or whatever. But I am telling you because it has happened before and it keeps happening. It's not far-fetched what I'm telling you, that if you spend 1 million, if you spend maybe 2.5 million, buying 1 million penny stocks today, shares of penny stock today, that's 1 million of it, it is not far-fetched that in another 3 years, that your 2.5 million that you used to buy 1 million penny stocks will become 150 million naira. So many of you can literally retire yourselves permanently in the next 5 years if you do what I'm telling you right now. If you don't do it, you'll regret it, because you're going to watch these penny stocks go from 3 naira today to 150, 200 naira in 2 years. In 3 years. And then you'll be wondering, what did I do to myself? What did I do to myself? Do you think what I told you is just far-fetched? Do you think it's one of those get-rich-quick? No. It's not a get-rich-quick thing. It happened to Geregu. How many of you know Geregu? The power company, the energy company. It was listed in the market, in the Nigerian Stock Exchange, at 100 naira. That was in 2022. It was listed for 100 naira in 2022. In 2024, by 2024, late 2024 or early 2024, Geregu went from 100 naira to 1,150 naira. Meaning that if you had invested 10 million naira in 2022 buying Geregu shares, 10 million would have given you 100,000 shares. If you had invested 10 million naira buying Geregu in 2022, it means that in 2 years, that 10 million naira would become 115 million. Many people cashed out. There was a particular case, it was actually in the papers, of somebody who cashed out with 4-point-something billion in Geregu. And he had bought it for just peanuts. So if you have 4 billion, if you make 4 billion from your investments you make today, that you make for a few millions, and then in the next 3 years you make 4 billion, don't you know you can retire? And then apart from that 115 million that the person made, you got shares worth even more millions. Because I also invested in Geregu, but I bought Geregu when it was, I bought it at 311 naira or something like that. But it went up to 1,150. So it's not about effort. It is not even about time. It's not about how old you are. It is about recognizing the base of a wealth cycle. Like we are going through the next wealth cycle in 5 years' time. There is the prospect of peace all over the place right now. Did you see how the Syrian citizens were out in the streets jubilating? What happened just a few days ago was very, very legendary. And there are also indications that the Ukraine-Russian war might have a resolution. There are indications that there might be a resolution to that. So ushering in a time of incredible peace. So before I end, let me give you one of those 7 penny stocks that I have told my mentorship group to put on their watch, and I've been following it and then giving them news and telling them why they need to watch that thing, what these companies do in their products. This particular company, I'm recommending it because they are my clients and I worked there, and I can tell you that I worked for them and then took, I went, they gave me a tour of their facility. at Newe, I was amazed. It became clear to me that this company is greatly undervalued. They make cables, and the cables that they make, if you've heard about Quotex cables, their cables are more expensive, if not 2 times more expensive than imported cables, because their cables are very, very high quality. You will never hear anything about, oh, you use Quotex cables and then there was electrical fire and the house burns down. If a house burns down because it's because of the quality of the cable, it's never happened with Quotex cables. So these are the things I look. So I didn't just pick penny stocks for it, because you are not picking stock price, you're picking the company. You're looking for opportunities for companies that are undervalued at this time, so that by the time people are waking up to it, you've already taken your position. So Quotex is one of them, is one of the 7. And if you haven't taken advantage of my monthly financial fitness challenge, it's my mentorship group. It's not free, it's paid for, because there are one of 2 ways you can handle this thing. You can do it by yourself, and it is totally okay by me, because I make it in such a way that you can take what I'm teaching you on this channel and improve your finances and build solid generational wealth. You can do it. I have over 620 videos like this one on my channel that you can binge watch, make notes. Some of them even have worksheets that can help you to implement. And I do free live coaching sessions every weekday. Every weekday, I do free live coaching sessions. So if you haven't actually subscribed to the channel, you need to do that so that you can get the notification. So to join my mentorship, my paid coaching group, send me payment details. Just type send me payment details and then WhatsApp it. WhatsApp it to this number I'm going to give you, +234 8088 000 111. That is +234 8088 000 111. Just send the, don't call that number. It doesn't receive calls. It receives only WhatsApp messages. And then all you need to say, don't talk too much. Just say, send me payment details. When you pay, you are going to join the group like almost automatically. You'll be taken to join the group almost automatically. All right. And then you can follow me as we ride this wave. And in fact, the financial fitness challenge, you never leave. You just pay once, but you're going to get like everlasting benefits. You know, all these recommendations. When new classes join, you will still be getting some fresh content every time to help you with your finances. So Quotex is currently trading around 2 naira 50 something, and then is undervalued. It's a very, very good buy at this time. Okay. So imagine, for instance, that you buy 1 million shares today, like I said, of 2.5 million. And then in 3 to 5 years, that your 2.5 million naira becomes 100 million. I just want to make sure that you remember me. Type in the comment section, I'll remember you, Mr. Ogbo. Just type that, make me happy that you remember me. When your 2.5 million, I'm not asking, becomes 100 million, and I'm not asking for tithe. I'm just saying, remember me. So that's what positioning looks like. Okay, so it's your kind of insight. So this kind of insight is not general advice. It's your edge. It's your edge. It's something to take advantage right now. And so if you are serious about me helping you, being part of my mentorship group, send that WhatsApp message right now. And then make sure to join us tonight for the live coaching session. The live coaching session starts at sometimes 8 p.m., sometimes 8:30 p.m. GMT +1. GMT +1. Always come to this session, to this live session, and ask your questions and engage with other people from different parts of the world. And then whatever happens, keep showing up, because you never know what's coming your way next. And I'll see you in the next video.